welcome everyone to the July 16th, 2025 meeting of the Planning and Zoning Commission of the Village of Lake Zurich. So first thing we need to do, Colleen, if you would please call the roll.
Commissioner Castillo is absent. Commissioner Giannini.
Aye.
Commissioner Gloaz is absent and excused. Commissioner Kovacevic.
Aye.
Commissioner Morrison and Commissioner Muir are absent and excused. Commissioner Schultz.
Present.
Chairman Stratman.
Here. So even though we have some commissioners not present this evening, we do have a quorum, so we're able to conduct our meeting for the village this evening. So the next item on the agenda will be the approval of the minutes from the PCC meeting of June 18th, 2025. Are there any questions or alterations to the minutes as submitted?
Nope.
Okay. Then I would entertain a motion to approve the June 18th, 2025 PCC minutes as presented.
So moved.
Thanks, Hildy. Call the roll, please, Colleen.
Commissioner Giannini.
Aye.
Commissioner Kovacevic.
Aye.
Commissioner Schultz.
Aye.
Chairman Stratman.
Aye. So next item would be public meeting. We have no public meeting this evening, so we'll move to the next item on the agenda, which is the public hearings. So I would entertain a motion to open the public hearing for the following applications. Application PZC 2025-10 for a special use permit for a used merchandise store, including the sale of used clothing at 795 West Illinois Route 22. Next item is application PZC 2025-11 for a map amendment and special use permit for an automobile lubricating service facility at 909 South Rand Road. The next item is application PZC 2025-12 for a PUD, planned unit development, for a mixed-use development at 173 West Main Street. For clarification, that item will be explained further in the meeting, but it's been continued to our August meeting. So next we need to swear in. Anyone will be testifying this evening? So-
Mr. Chairman, if you could
Oh, I'm sorry.
accept the motion.
So moved.
Thank you. Thanks, Hildy.
Second.
Thank you. Call the roll, please, Colleen.
Commissioner Giannini.
Aye.
Commissioner Kovacevic.
Aye.
Commissioner Schultz.
Aye.
Chairman Stratman.
Aye. Now we'll do the swearing in. Anyone wishing to speak at the public hearing now will be sworn in. Please raise your right hand while I read the statement to swear you in. Do you swear the testimony you're about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? I do. Good. When you come up to the podium, please sign in on the sheet at the podium if you haven't already done so. And at the beginning of your statement, please state your name, spelling it out if necessary, and your address for the record. All comments will be addressed to the PZC chair. Any members of the public wishing to comment will be invited one by one to the podium to provide their comment. The chairperson may limit repetitious or inappropriate comments and impose reasonable time limits in accordance with the rules of the PZC. The applicant will be given the opportunity to present their application. After the applicant's presentation, the PZC members will be able to ask questions one by one of the applicants, and discussion can occur. After the PZC questions have been addressed, public testimony will be received, and the PZC commissioners' comments or additional questions can ensue. Flip the page, and it says, after all persons are given the opportunity to speak, the hearing will be closed or continued, and the PZC will move into deliberation. The applicant may be given the opportunity to respond to questions posed by either the members of the PZC or village staff during deliberation. However, no more formal testimony will be taken after the hearing is closed unless the chair decides otherwise. Once all deliberation has ended, the PZC will vote on a recommendation to the village board on the matter. So, first on the agenda is application PZC 2025-10 for 925 West Illinois Route 22. It is an application for a special use permit for the establishment of a used merchandise store, including the sale of used clothing in the B3 Regional Shopping Business District, to be operated as a Salvation Army thrift store. staff. Can you confirm that the proper notice was provided of the item?
Yes, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. And can you present the item to us?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Chairman. For this evening's item, the special use permit for the used merchandise store to be operated by the Salvation Army will be presented by the applicant, Mr. Jason Sapphire of Fidelity Group, who are the owners of the shopping center in which this retail establishment is being proposed. If you'd like to present from there or there, yeah, you can use a mic. Yeah, you may have to turn it on, though. Yeah, the button's right there.
Does that work? Okay,
Yes.
perfect. Good evening, Chair Stratt and fellow commissioners. Thank you, Sarosh and Colleen, for all your help getting us to this point. Thank you. Light crowd tonight, but I'm used to doing this, so I'm hoping this will go smooth. Some new commissioners here, so it's good to see some new faces up there. As everyone said, the Village Square Shopping Center is on the southwest corner of Route 12 and 22 that we've owned, boy, almost 30 years now we've owned that property. And you've seen a lot of tenants come through Lake Zurich that we've brought. We had Party City there for a long time, and unfortunately Party City's no longer. So we put the property out to market, and there were a few suitors, and one that came really quickly and that was really excited about being there was Salvation Army. And we, kind of processed if that would be a good use for the property, and we decided we have Goodwill, which is over in one of our other properties, in House of Hope, and their numbers are better than a lot of our normal retailers because of the economy and the times. And the benefit of Salvation Army is, if anybody knows any of the history, I know that I think we provided a document that gives a little bit of a history, but I found out some cool things about them when I was, deliberating whether, for us as a family, if it was a good decision for us to bring them in as a tenant. They have never defaulted on any lease they've ever signed in any retail property in the history of Salvation Army. They've owned some of their own locations that they've closed, but they've never defaulted on a lease. They're willing to sign a 10-year lease with us at market rent, which for a resale shop is pretty odd for someone to sign at market rent, which it's kind of just, information for everybody, but that gives me, as the property owner, a lot of confidence that they're going to be a tenant that'll be there for a while. And as I think we have a pretty good track record of providing tenants that are lasting. We have, right now in our properties, our standard tenant is there about 14 years. So we have a lot of confidence that this tenant will remain. We think the uses will fit in this property. It's a large property that doesn't have another use similar to this. And they're a really good operator from, the history that we've done. So what we're asking for is pretty simple, is that special use permit for the resale goods, as Chair Stratman and Sarosh had delineated. As you can see, there are going to be some improvements that we need to make to the property, but as I had told Chair Stratman and when I came earlier, the plan is, and the way the process works for us is, Salvation Army wouldn't sign the lease until they had a special use permit so they knew they could operate there. So we decided to go ahead and move this process forward. If we get the special use, they will immediately execute the lease with their board. That's the way they operate. Then we will go ahead and create construction drawings to submit to community development. So the ramp in the back or any other improvements that we make to the store will certainly be up to code. I know that the drawing that we had sent you was a little bit crude, but I didn't have the time nor did want to spend the money for a topo and engineering and all those things to design a ramp that would be ADA accessible. But I can promise you that it will be ADA accessible, because I'm not interested in putting things in my properties that aren't ADA accessible. As anybody in the camera can see, I'm sitting here in a wheelchair. So, but I hope that explains everything. We're excited about the use, and we're hoping we can get this approved tonight to get the lease signed, get construction drawings in, and get it permitted so we can start construction and get them opened. And I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Jason. So just for point of clarification then, if the special use permit is recommended this evening and it goes to the board and they then approve that, there wouldn't be anything needing to come back to us because everything would then process through the building department, correct?
Yes, it will all be part of the building permit process, which is for the construction of the ramp and the addition of the fitting or changing rooms within the space. The rest of the space is going to be retained as it is currently as a retail space.
All right. So then our discussion to the commission then is to strictly for this special use permit because of what the retailer is going to be. So that is what we're charged with. Okay? So staff comments, besides what we have in our packet, which is, we'll point out, all green. So for those that are not familiar with the meetings, if we get our staff review on the items, the staff helps us out by, when they review it, if it's green font in their comments, that means everything complies with the various sections. If there's a question about some section, it may be in yellow font. And if there's a problem where it doesn't comply, the font would be red. But our packet we received to review on this item has all green font. So it's telling us that you've complied with everything that's required. Okay. Do we have questions of the petitioner before? Joe, any questions?
No.
Vlad, any questions? No?
Wait, I have a question.
'Kay.
And if it was in the proposal, I apologize. I'm looking at the ramp, and I know it's behind the building, and I apologize, I'm not familiar, I didn't drive back there. So is this gonna be like a one-way, or is that wide enough to accommodate, cars? I'm assuming they're gonna pull in along the north side, drive down that little,
Are you referring?
oh, I'm sorry.
If the battery
And
is
mine is
dead, I'll
not
get
on
you a new
either.
one. Yeah, I'll get you a new one.
The last, second to the last picture in the packet, it shows the back and where the ramp is gonna be. But
Yeah,
there's-
are you asking, is there gonna be enough room for a truck to load and unload there?
Well, I wasn't even thinking of a truck, but that's a
Yeah.
really good question.
Yeah, well, I mean, think
I mean,
about,
I'm more concerned, well, my original question was about, okay, can cars come at it from either direction?
it is a two-way driveway right now, yes. And it has been that way since its inception. Actually, the ramp we're proposing is going to be smaller than what's currently there. There's currently what is a crude,
A stoop. of
yeah,
sorts.
stoop that was used for unloading, and the ramp will actually be a little bit narrower than that. So we're not gonna be impeding on the drive lane at all, because there's
okay.
also trash enclosures there that are past that.
Okay,
Yeah.
I wasn't familiar with that area back there, and I didn't know if there was enough room, so I was just a little concerned our cars gonna be, kind of crowding each other, or.
No, I think there'll be plenty of room, and again, we'll submit for
And
permit, and,
obviously,
yeah.
they'll have to approve it.
The fire
right?
department will have to look at it, but I'm owning the property and remodeling it, I think, 100 times at this point. I'm very confident that what we can design will work very well with the property.
Okay. All right, thank you.
You guys did a good job with Goodwill and removing that vehicle traffic from the roadway there. I think this is a much better solution, just in general.
For a drop-off,
For a
yeah,
drop-off.
yeah.
Yeah.
And they don't do a ton of drop-off at Salvation. What I've learned is they actually have collection areas, take those to their warehousing, and they actually stock it from their warehouses with box trucks, small box trucks, like 14-foot box trucks. That's what this ramp's for, is to unload those and then use carts to bring in. So we won't have any donation drop-off at the store. There may be some, but that's not the intent.
It's-
Yeah, this is for their controlled loading and
Yeah, that's-
unloading with their staff.
That's not their model. That's not how they do
Exactly.
stuff. Got it? Okay.
Okay, thanks, good question. Anything else? Okay, then I would entertain a motion. Is there
Mr.
anyone from the public wish to speak on this item? Seeing none, okay. Then I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing on application PZC 2025-10 and move to deliberation.
So moved.
Tildy,
Second.
thanks. Call the roll, please, Colleen.
Commissioner Giannini,
Aye.
Commissioner Kovacevic.
Aye.
Commissioner Schultz.
Aye.
Chairman Stratman.
Aye. So, yeah, I think the Salvation Army model is they have their trucks go around pickup. You can call for a pickup as opposed to the other, so it's a
And they're
different
driving up.
item. Okay, any further discussion for the applicant
Not?
on this item? No?
No.
Okay, then on application PZC 2025-10, I will entertain a motion to receive into the public record the staff review of compliance of this application with the zoning standards as presented by staff, and receive the testimony presented by the applicant and by the PZC members, and make these standards and testimony a part of the official record for the application and findings of the PZC, and to recommend that the village board approve the application for the special use permit for the establishment of a used merchandise store, including the sale of used clothing, to be operated as the Salvation Army Thrift Store at 795 West Illinois Route 22.
So moved.
Second.
Thanks, Hildy. Call the roll, please, Colleen.
Commissioner Giannini.
Aye.
Commissioner Kovacevic.
Aye.
Commissioner Schultz.
Aye.
Chairman Stratman.
Aye. So this has been recommended to the board unanimously, and do we have a date for that?
Yes, we're actually looking, because of the need to move quickly on this project, is to bring it to the board at their meeting on the 21st of July, which is next Monday.
Oh, okay.
My new home.
All right. Good luck with that one, Jason.
Thank you very much.
Okay, then we move to our next item. Don't go too far. And that's gonna be application PZC 2025-11 for 909 South Rand Road. It's an application for a map amendment from a B1 local community business district to a B3 regional shopping business district and a special use permit for the construction of a new automobile lubricating services facility in the B3 district to be operated as a Valvoline instant oil change. Staff, can you please confirm that proper notice was provided of this item?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, it was.
Thanks, Rose.
Mhm.
And can you present the item for us?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This is the property at 909 South Rand Road. You'll recall that recently there was an application before you for a cannabis dispensary, which did not materialize. The property at that time was also owned by Fidelity Group. They continue to own the property, and at this time, they're looking at a different tenant, a Valvoline instant oil change or a vehicle lubricating facility that is proposed to be established on this property. Again, we have Mr. Jason Sapphire here this evening to make a brief presentation and answer any questions.
All right. Good evening.
We're going to present, and then anybody that has comment can do that after?
Yes,
Perfect,
correct.
okay. Well, thank you, good to see you all again. We'll move down Route 12, I think that's southbound that we'll go, to one of our other properties, which is adjacent to our Deer Path Commons Shopping Center. For some of you that were here last year, it was exactly July, wasn't it, that I was here? And we had this property approved. Actually, I'd like the site plan up, if you could pull it up. I don't know.
It's one of the slides further down. There you go.
Somebody's listening behind the
Yes,
doors.
they're
Thank you.
controlling it from behind.
Yeah, okay,
Thanks, Heidi.
perfect. So this is the new site plan, but this just gives you a little bit of idea. So, as you know, I apologize, we were here last year and we did present another project that we felt pretty good about at the time. Unfortunately, tenants can be a little bit fickle sometimes, and after just multiple iterations of drawings and negotiations, the project just kind of fell apart. And we decided that it just wasn't going to financially be a good decision for us to move forward. And to be honest, after thinking about the use a little more and how that would long-term impact our investment, we decided that it was probably better for us just to not pursue that project. So we pulled that. I had let Sarosh and the team know, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago that we just decided to pull out of that project. And things materialized really quickly with Valvoline, which is obviously a national brand. Stan Latos is here. He's their director of real estate, here to join us. He can answer any of their particular questions. I'm more just here to talk about the project and the zoning amendment. I think that's right. A map amendment to take it from B1 zoning to be contiguous with the B3 zoning district that our shopping center adjacency falls in, instead of having this one isolated piece in as B1. Plus, to move forward with Valvoline, we need to have it as a B3 so that we can attain that special use. So as you can see in your packet, there is a new site plan. The site plan is actually really similar to the previous site plan that we had presented for the other building that would have been it would have been a retail building occupied by the dispensary at the time. Thankfully, because the site is so compact, the building is considerably smaller. It's about half the size of it was before, which really helps the site from a, just kind of impact. It was a really heavy impact before on that site. That was one of the other things we started to notice, is that if that, retail use didn't work as the dispensary, then it wouldn't give us much parking requirements for a restaurant and things. So we actually are really excited about this use. I think it's a great use for the property. Valvoline's a known entity and a known brand. We don't plan on changing any of the access to the property. There's already an REA in place and a cross easement parking agreement that will remain between both properties. So the access driveway that comes from Deer Path Commons over there by the Companion Animal Hospital. Is there a pointer thing?
Yes, it's one of the remotes over there. Yeah, you have to press, I think, the circular. Mhm. And it'll automatically show up on the screen.
Pretty cool.
There you go, on top. Yep.
Yeah, so this is the driveway we're referring to, and this will remain, and we're not doing any access work. And we already have an access permit from Route 12 from the previous project, which will remain in place. So as you can see, the flow of traffic works well, and the building is pushed as far forward as we can without, again, impacting, that driveway there. That's why the building's so far forward, so that we can get it as far away from the residents as possible. Because we know that some of the residents that are sitting here, they would appreciate the building be pushed as far forward. So as far as the site plan, I think it's pretty straightforward. I think there is a little bit of room to move some things, minorly if there are, to accommodate certain requests. But as far as we're concerned, the site plan works really good, and I think it would be a great site to switch to B3.
If you want to scroll down to the landscape plan to show the screening on the.
Yeah, is that
I think, Ali, can you go?
perfect?
There you go.
He's really quick. So yeah, as you can see, Stan and his team was able to put together a landscape plan that meets requirements really quickly. And there's a heavy concentration of screening along the back property lines. So obviously that fence that's there would remain. The fence could be replaced as needed, and I'd be happy to do that as the property owner. And then add the screening and landscaping along the rear property line. You can see that for a oil change facility, it's very well landscaped. You don't usually drive around and see oil change facilities that are landscaped to this level, and we're proud of that because I think it'll really present well.
And particularly with evergreens, so it'd be year-round.
Correct, yeah, evergreen deciduous that never will drop leaves. So I think you're right. That's a great call out there, Commissioner, or Chairman, I apologize. So yeah, I would be happy to answer any questions on the site plan or landscape before we move forward, if there are any.
I have a question. Sure. So on the east driveway, is that a two-way driveway that accesses the?
That access is two-way, and it will remain two-way, yes.
So would they be able to make a left turn coming out?
From the side of the building, you're saying if
So
they're,
coming out here, would they be able to make a left turn onto here?
yes, they would, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that would be the exit route from the side, the rear of the building.
Now, is this facility, Soroush, question for you, is it going to need a settling basin for the?
Yes, all of the requirements for an automotive repair type shop, because they're dealing in oil, so a triple basin and any other requirement that we typically require for any automobile repair use. So they will require that. I believe they will have lifts and, no lifts? Okay, no lifts. Will they be going down below the cars then?
Will the cars drive in over an open
If you
bay?
wouldn't mind coming to the podium and stating your name and, yeah.
I'm Stan Latos. I'm the real estate development manager for Ivy Lane and Atera Real Estate. And the way the facility is designed is first of all, we don't take appointments. We don't park cars overnight. So we're kind of an impulse business. They pull in, they come around. Let's see, where was that?
Pull up the site plan.
Yeah. And how do I do that?
Actually, it's controlled in the rear, and then there is a pointer, yeah.
It's this button. Where do you want to show?
I just wanted, whoops.
Push this button.
Go back, yeah, there you go.
Okay, gotta work. Yes, so the cars will come around and queue up, and we'll pull them into the facility. We have a full basement with a catwalk system, and we get underneath the car. The service tech from the downside does the work from downside, and the techs from upstairs will do the upstairs, and then they'll just drive out. So The service, a typical oil change service takes about 15 minutes. Now, additional service will take a little bit longer time. Now, in terms of how busy this shop is, we anticipate after about 3 years of opening that we will be somewhere around 40 to 50 cars a day. Now, that's from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. So in any period of time, we're not really anticipating a lot of busy. All right? Did I answer the question? I wasn't sure what the question
Yeah, the question was, is there gonna be a basement below the level where the cars pull in so that you
Yeah,
can service the
and
cars
there,
from
so there
underneath?
will be no lifts, and there will be a triple basin. And the triple basin isn't for dumping oil into, it's really just for anything that falls on the floor and washing the floors.
Just to know that all our tanks that we have for storage are double wall insulated tanks. So there's a tank inside of a tank. And so they're a containment system in themselves.
All right, thank you, Stanley, appreciate that. And in the packet, we see this is a franchise location for Valvoline, but a substantial one, I can see. Number of locations you have, 85 locations.
Over 85 locations in 7 states.
Okay.
And we have several that are being constructed right now.
So you know what you're doing.
We've been down this road before.
Okay.
If I may make a comment, we also reviewed the application or the design for stacking of vehicles to ensure that no stacking extended onto South Rand Road because it's a very busy thoroughfare, and they've provided ample room on the west side of the building to ensure that if there is stacking, that it does not extend past it, and if it does on a very busy day, it could actually extend into the shopping center. And if someone wants to leave while they are stacked, there is the escape route on the east side of the building to allow them to leave the building, just like a fast food restaurant.
So it's good traffic movement.
Yes, yes. So we did not have any issue with that either.
All right.
Signage for the location, is that what that, it says?
Yeah, if you want,
It
if
says
we're,
monument sign?
Yeah,
Is that where it's gonna be?
there's gonna be a monument sign on 12, but then there will be building signage. So if you want, we could move from the site plan and landscape plan to the exterior appearance of the building.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ali, those are the elevations of the building.
One more.
Page 28.
Are you controlling that? or is
No, Ali is. I'm just giving him page numbers.
he? Okay. 28, Ollie.
28.
Thank you. You're doing great.
Keep going further down. Oh, looks like it's, okay, keep going, more.
There we go.
There you go. Mhm.
There we go. So as you can see, that's the rear of the building, that's the top, and then the side of the building, and I think there's one more page that shows the, there we go, the front of the building. So to answer your question, Commissioner, that would be the front of the building with building signage on the front, then building signage on both sides. And then there would be a monument sign, similar to the monument sign that has been there previously for Hawkeye. It'd be in that similar location. It'd be some sort of monument sign
And
constructed.
obviously, it would meet our signage
Yes,
requirements.
Yeah,
we
and-
typically require that all signs meet sign code.
And again,
It'll be an actual sign, not
It'll be
just a
an
piece of whatever?
Yes, correct. It would have
yeah,
to be a
and again,
monument
just
style.
like I said in the previous presentation, this is more just for visual pieces and to say that we believe the site would work and it would be a good choice for B3 zoning, but building permits are to come. So there's an opportunity for the staff to go ahead and make sure that everything is compliant
Right.
and fits in the building code, and, you know, triple basins and all those things would be appropriate as necessary.
Absolutely. It just helps us to envision when we have
For
some,
sure.
you know, to actually see what's gonna look like, because we want it to look attractive.
And we
you
even,
know?
I thought Commissioner Castillo was gonna be here, and I asked Stan actually to bring some brick, because I know he likes to see, touch and
likes to see
feel
the
the
brick?
brick. So we did do that,
Okay,
but,
let's see the brick.
yeah, okay, Stan, can you bring the brick up? But,
Break the brick.
and I totally get it. That's why we tried to be as thorough as we can, at least with kind of a pre-presentation plan, so you get a
Yeah,
feel for what
absolutely.
we're looking to do. But this is the masonry, the thin brick, yeah.
We're using this right now, and we're using. Yeah, using this right now in a construction in Loves Park.
Okay.
So that,
It's a little bit different design building than this, but similar yet, we still have the
Yeah.
brick tower and the brick wainscot
And then everything else would be ephes, and those little pendant lights would be kind of down lights that would add a little bit of character to the building instead of just your traditional wall pack, so.
Well, Jason, I know we've talked about the landscaping plan, which was pretty detailed, but why don't we talk about the photometric? Because if we have people,
For sure.
residents that are big concerned, lighting is always a concern.
That would be slide number 32. And
The magic man behind the curtain, there we go. Can you back up to, there's one more.
oh, there's a colored one, the next slide.
There we go. No. Yeah, so this is the photometric that kind of shows the hot spots or the impact zones of the lighting. And obviously, staff has reviewed it and it got green, so this does meet the village code. Just because it meets the village code, I'll speak to the people that are behind me, doesn't mean that that's what we have to put in. We can be flexible on some things as long as it's lighting the property enough that it's safe and secure. Because a lot of times we get, when I make these presentations in this village are different, is we don't want a lot of light near the property line. But what happens when we do that is we create dark spots that kids, people that are not what we would call the appropriate people we want on our locations can hide and do things. So I don't want to make sure, I don't want it to be very well lit at the fence line, but we want to make sure that the parking lot and the building area is lit for security purposes. But as Stan had put in his report and just mentioned, you're only open till 7 p.m. So there's a portion of this parking lot that can be dark after 7 p.m. and then we can just have night lights and emergency lights on from 7 p.m. on till the next morning, which is a much lower impact than our previous use. They were open till 10 p.m. So we feel like this is a better use for a small site that is tight with residents behind it because it's only open till 7 p.m. And 40 cars a day over a 9-hour period is not a lot of cars to come through this facility. So, but yes, the lighting plan, the photometric has been well done. There's probably some shrouds and screening that could be added to a few of the lights if necessary so that,
That's what we would recommend.
yeah, so from the back, if you're in one of the residents' home and you're looking at the light, you would see the light dispersion down, but you wouldn't actually see, like if we're looking up at these lights right now on the ceiling, we're seeing the glare of the bulb. With a proper baffle inside the light and then a shroud on the rear of it, you won't ever see the light itself. You'll just see the dispersion down onto the ground. So that we could certainly do that, and I think that would be a good use, especially on the two property lines as it borders our property and as it borders 12. I don't think that would be necessary whatsoever.
Well,
Yeah.
with closing at 7, obviously, just in terms of the location for off hours, want your location facing Rand, those trademark light signs to be illuminated. There'd be no reason to have them illuminated in the back though, right?
Correct, yes.
So those
If you
could
might
be,
use the mic.
Sign on the front of the building.
those could be switched separately, so,
All right, the monument sign and the sign on the front of the building, we do want that lit up.
yes.
And yes, we're gonna want to have the lights, the little lights that are hanging down, we want those on, and probably the pole lights on the shopping center side. On the other side, we could do something that, by the time the crew leaves by 8 p.m., we can have those lights off.
I think that would be good for the residents' benefit to not see that part. Because
For sure.
it's not gonna help the business aspect. I understand wanting to have it visible all the time from Rand, but from the back, those rear lights can be turned off.
100%.
All right, good, thank you.
So any other questions on the photometric plan as designed?
Just a quick comment to note that anywhere on the site, we've noted that the lighting is at 10 at its maximum, but on an average between 2 to 3 foot candles in the driveway areas. Along the periphery, we will ensure and work with the applicant to make sure that it's no more than half a foot candle. That's our requirement. So that is something, right now, I think there is one spot that comes close to the boundary, which is approximately 1 foot candle.
So those baffles or
Baffles and shrouds.
shrouds would
essentially.
solve that problem
Yes,
completely. Yep.
and screens. And with the combination of the evergreen and deciduous trees that they're planting along the edge of the property, the combination of that will still further subdue the lighting onto adjacent property.
It'll absorb a lot of it, yeah.
Okay, all right, continue.
That's pretty much all I have, but we're here to answer any questions. I know there's a lot of information in the packet.
There is.
And a lot of that, the narratives and things like that, I'm sure you can read in your spare time, but I'm happy to answer any questions, so is Stan at this point.
Lance, we'll start with you.
So, yeah, thank you. So how much of the other services you guys would do there,
Well,
other
we
than oil
do
change?
transmission services, coolant flush, air conditioning services, even tire rotation. We've got a system that we can move, pick the car up. We'll do air filters, we'll do cabin filters, and a few other things along that line. Batteries, we'll install batteries.
And so the Hawkeye that was there before, I mean, they've done all that work already, right?
They
And
were
so
a general automotive repair shop.
They
And
did,
now-
they did everything.
Brakes, they did,
And-
Engine repair, the
Yeah,
full,
right.
yeah.
Yes.
And I would assume as they do engine repairs, they gotta replace the oil too. I mean, that's kind of incidental. So
Yes.
they've done oil changes technically on the site already.
Yes.
Not high volume, but
Right.
they've done it.
Yeah, and don't forget Hawkeye was a full service where they would have, I mean, I've been their neighbor as another business. They would have cars sitting out there for days, weeks on end, while they were servicing cars. We're talking about 0 cars overnight in this parking lot, 40 cars a day, in and out, and closed by 7 PM.
And I assume the noise would be lower too than what
Oh,
they have.
much lower.
No
Much lower.
impact
No,
wrenches.
yeah, no impact wrenches, right?
no
No body
pneumatic
work, no
stuff and-
hammering.
yeah.
Mhm.
There was one more thing. The only thing I still kind of, and this is maybe for the village to take a look at, just looking at this coming out of the, and I apologize, I don't mean to be, detracting, as an engineer. So looking if there's a stop sign here and the vehicle is trying to turn this way, I just want him to take a look if there would be any site restriction from this building from any incoming vehicles this way.
We can work with the developer on providing the appropriate stop bar to make sure that vehicles stop at the right location together with a stop sign so that they don't encroach into the drive trying to lean forward. And we can work with you on maybe even providing some caution signage to make sure
For
if
sure.
there is a car
Yeah.
leaving the building or in the escape lane, that someone trying to exit your shopping center through this
Development, yeah.
development would be aware of it, which is highly unlikely because most of your patrons leave the shopping center through the main entrances through your shopping center.
And the good thing is that obviously, to your line of sight question is, obviously the cars that would be heading towards the exit on the 909 property are gonna be on the right side of the driveway, not tight to the building. So any cars that would wanna go left would be seeing the car to the right, and that car to the right would be seeing the car to the left. So I think it's a good point, but I think with proper traffic
Signage.
control protection and signage, we'd be fine.
That's all.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Joe?
Just touching back on that former use Hawkeye, this is more a question for zoning. So if it was B1 previously, how was Hawkeye operating there? Because that's probably not an approved use.
Hawkeye was one of the first uses in that area
Okay.
prior to the shopping center's establishment. And with the comprehensive amendment to our zoning code, that particular business was seen fit to be zoned within the B1 district. We find now that these types of uses are more appropriate to be located in a B3 district because this is now part of a larger retail center. All of the development has come after Hawkeye came in. And so that is the reason why we are comfortable with type of use appropriately in the B3 district rather than the B1. Additionally, the other reason we are also proposing or recommending the rezoning is the fact that automotive oil changes are not allowed or not provided for in the B1. The only way they'd be provided would be in the B3 unless we do a text amendment, which is not something we were in favor of, to allow for oil changes in the B1 district. B1 districts are for very local neighborhood-related type uses, whereas B3 are a little more regional type uses. And being the fact that this is on a major regional arterial road, the zoning classification was more appropriate to be designated in the B3 rather than the B1. So
Okay.
Hawkeye was given a very specific allowance to operate in the B1 district.
Okay. So they were grandfathered.
They were
in
grandfathered in.
before
Yeah.
the use was restricted within
Yes,
B1.
yeah.
So was their Quonset hut.
Yes, and their building, building
Yeah.
type as
Yeah.
well, the curved building, yeah.
Okay, understood. So this is basically bringing it back to what was originally on the property as far
Or
as
bringing
use.
it closer is what we say, more in keeping with the general trend of development in that area. Mhm.
One quick question, this is, and you guys might not know the answer, there's some drains on the west side of the property. I don't know if that drains onto the property or if that's the property draining away to the west
Are
side.
you saying the storm drainage that's on the west side of the property? Yeah, that actually connects to a local, to the storm sewer. So there's a beehive there that takes all the storm water right now, and that actually connects downstream currently.
That was one of the discussions we had with Mr. Sapphire when we were dealing with the cannabis dispensary in there as to how to accommodate all of the new impervious that was being created as a result of that. And at that time itself, a solution was reached, which we anticipate you will continue to follow.
Okay. Sounds good. That's all I got.
All right, thanks, Joe. Yoli?
I got nothing. I asked mine.
No, my questions have already been answered, so thank you for that. We'll open up to the community for comments.
This one's gonna die, so I'm gonna switch them for
Very good.
Anyone in the audience wishing to speak to this item?
Good evening. Good evening. My name is Ola Yusko. I am living at the 203 Fescue Court, and my property is bordering with the plant valvoline oil change. I have a few concerns though. My first concern is changing B1 to B3 that will opens for the future if the business will not grow by any chances, so or it closes, right? What controls will be in place to prevent future high impact B3 uses?
Okay, I'll leave that for staff to
Yes.
answer for.
This is a very, I think, specific type of use being provided over here. If any use comes in the future, the most relevant uses would be more retail-oriented because the comprehensive plan that we've recently adopted recommends this to be in keeping with the retail corridor. So retail and service uses would be the only uses that would be allowed. If it would be, to give you some examples, it could be a restaurant, an office. But for that to happen, the building and the property would have to be completely raised and redeveloped. Or the existing shopping center may need to be expanded for something as dramatic a change to happen. In that, if that actually is proposed, we would obviously look at the setback requirements for the B3 district to make sure that those setbacks are maintained. If any relief is requested, it would have to come back through a process in the future, and you would be notified as an owner.
Sure, thank you. The second question is, the driveway and drive-through lane are only 10 feet from our fence. That's extremely close. Can the fence be raised to 8 feet tall?
The fence could potentially be raised as a condition, an agreement of the property owner. One of the conditions that we have added to our staff report is that if the existing 5-foot fence is replaced, that it be replaced with a 6-foot fence, which is what our code allows. However, if greater screening, because there are dissimilar uses needed between the two properties, needs greater screening, we can certainly request the applicant to see if they'd be amenable to a higher fence. Okay. Can you use the microphone? Yeah.
I guess my only thought with a fence, an 8-foot fence, I'm not sure there's any great 8-foot fences out there that stand up well and look really good over time. Owning a bunch of property and having fences all over, that's just not a great use. And if the concern is because the driveway is only 10 feet from the fence line, if the concern is lighting, or what is the concern?
The lightning, the trucks that will be loading, unloading, right?
Trucks.
Yeah.
So how to screen them?
Well, then, if there's trucks that come in to supply the location, we can set hours for that. They can load the place in the middle of the day. It's not gonna be at night. Yeah, and it would never be at night when the loading would impact you. So I get the concern, but I also think that we have to be realistic that with the proper landscaping and an appropriate fence, those lights of any truck is not higher than 5 feet. So that lighting would never really come over the fence and create something that would be of a concern. But I mean, I'm sensitive to your concerns. I'm just not sure that that would be appropriate even to raise the fence 3 more feet. I don't think it would make a difference because any car lights are not going to go over 5 feet, if my answer makes sense.
Sure, thank you. I have another question about the garbage can. That is right near the property fence. Can it be moved to another, like, mirror inside?
It's on the southwest corner. Is there an option to move it on the southeast corner?
There's a possibility. I mean, we put it there for the truck to go straight in, pick it up.
Mhm.
But if we need to have them come around to another spot, we could probably.
Yeah,
look at
you've
Yeah.
provided for,
As long as there's appropriate
Drive.
turning radius for the truck,
yeah.
yeah. But again, just like in our other shopping centers, we restrict the times for garbage pickups. So to those to like around 10 o'clock so that they're not pulling in a garbage truck at 7 a.m. when you're having breakfast. So those are the types of controls that can be put on the site. But again, like Stan said, I think a relocation of the dumpster may be possible. It would actually just require the truck to be there longer because they might have to turn back up and then drive out. So, but it certainly could be looked at the time of permitting. Those are the types of things too that would come in at permitting and could be noted now and looked at the time of permitting.
The plan commission also has the option of making it a condition. I'm just letting you
Right.
know.
Mhm.
And of course, the lightning. We have 4 lights planned to be on our near our border line, so that's the main concern. I'll say the
Lighting.
lights. So if possible, to have some light shows.
Yes. That we will be working
Much
with the
appreciated.
applicant.
That'll be
anyway.
mandatory for sure. We'll make sure that happens.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Sure, thank you. Okay.
We have one more gentleman who has
Yeah,
signed up.
I'm just looking at the site plan for Stan to look at. I would think that relocating that away from the residence would not be, I think it still have plenty access for refuse pickup and access because of the space that's allowed. And again, with you scheduling it on off times that you'd want it to be, I think that could be accommodated. Okay. Other residents wishing to speak?
Hello, I'm William Howarth. I live at 328 Danbury Drive. We share, our north edge of the property is 142.9 feet of that lot. So we are directly impacted by whatever goes on there. We've lived in our home since 2007 there. So I have a real interest in a real working relationship with that property. We do have concerns with going from B1 to B3 investment-backed expectations when we bought the house. The B3 designation could allow for things like, once again, a car wash if you're all retired and moved on to other positions and people who really like car washes come in, then that could be something that ends up there with a B3 designation. It also allows for things like drive-in eating, pet boarding, a liquor store, a bowling center, laundry services. So there are many things that are in B3 that are not in B1 that designation has. So we really do have a concern for that if the oil change facility doesn't last, which I fully expect it would, and I do believe it would be a low noise position there. We also have concerns over the lighting there, especially like that the back Valvoline sign. We're really the only ones that could see it, and I don't want to see it all night, every night. When we walk up our stairs, I am at basically that lot level when I'm walking along the back upstairs is the same as that lot level there because we're at a slightly lower elevation in our yard. There is also a concern with the location of the back parking stalls and the landscaping that's there. There were 3 existing evergreens there. One of those was cut down when they took down the Hawkeye building, and another mature 50-foot tall tree was taken down at the same time. And where the back parking lot is, right now they have a queue area of approximately 2.5 to 3 cars behind the bays. And that pushes that parking area to, it says 11 feet on the plan. And if you go back and you look at the site plan, if you bring that up right now, that site plan that is on there, these trees that are on the bay,
You can point at the screen. There you
this
go.
screen. Okay,
And it's the top button.
top button.
Go back.
So there were 3 trees here, and now there's only 2. One of them was already taken out, and the distance right here, it's showing 11 feet to the edge there. And I went out and measured where those trees are right now, and one of the trees to the edge of the bark line, closest to where that parking lot would be, is 10 feet 8 inches, and the other one is 9 feet 3 inches. So those trees with this top button, thank you. So right now, where this line is, those trees would not make it through that construction. I'm sure they would be lost either due to root damage or the fact that they're going to be right on the curb line, where they're going to be putting in a cement curb. So if this was lowered from 3 cars to 2.5, that would allow this area here to be moved in a little bit to allow those trees to remain as part of the screening. And on our side of this same line, we have various landscape materials that are providing some screening and trees there already. And we want to maintain those and keep that area, so we do have some privacy from there. Also, the lighting is very much an issue, and I do appreciate that you can have control of those lights and put some restrictions on them, and that would be very beneficial. Hawkeye, when they were there, they only had motion-sensitive lights in back, and those worked great. I've been their security for the whole time we've been living there, and anytime I saw anything hinky going on, I called up the Lake Zurich Police Department, and they would send somebody around, and sometimes it was real stuff, and sometimes it was nothing at all. I think motion-sensitive lights in the back at night would be very beneficial. And control of the lights. You talked about the tanks that would be storing the oil, being double-wall tanks for the best protection from possible ground leak, and Lake Zurich does have a well that's located at that service center. They have positive pressure in between the inner tank and the outer tank. I would ask that that type of positive pressure tank is maintained, and there's a good possibility that they already have that in the plan. And we already talked about the rear signage. So I think that pretty well covers everything I wanted to.
Just for clarification on the tanks are above ground. There are no in-ground tanks.
Oh,
yeah,
no
yeah, no,
in-ground oil.
It's above ground, storage containers
In our basement.
in their basement.
Perfect.
Yeah, so no ground
That-
leakage would be possible.
Okay.
That does,
Excellent clarification.
that's fine if it's not double wall or positive pressure in between then too. Okay. So
All right.
I think that, also, I just wanted to mention, the back corner of my home is 34 feet from the property line. So we really are very close to that, you know, and we would like it to be a good neighbor, and we would like to be a good neighbor to them, and I'm sure that we can work on it. I think the 6-foot fence or something like that would be very helpful.
Do we have a fence now?
Yes, but a 6-foot fence would help. So, anyhow, that's all I have.
All right,
So,
thanks very much.
Thank
sir.
you.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, Bill. Just one or two quick thoughts. Obviously, going from the B1 to the B3, it does open it up to other uses. But since there's a special use on the property and the building is being built specifically for an oil change, if it were to change use from an oil change, it would have to come back before you for special, for exterior appearance.
Yes.
So you would all have a say, and again, in what goes in there, unless we were to put a restaurant in an oil change facility, but I've been in this business 35 years, I've yet to figure that out. So I'm just saying from that standpoint, I think that the building is very specific to its use. It's a very small building, and any commission, whether it's you, gentleman and lady, or whoever else is sitting here, would have an opportunity to speak into what the next use is if it was to change, because the building would have to be knocked down and rebuilt. So I think that's just an important thing to bring to the light in this situation. And as far as the other concerns about lighting, we've already talked about, and certainly will comply with any of those requirements that are necessary. Regarding the trees that were taken down, the one that was there, the 50-footer, was not, it was actually asked of us to be taken down because it was unstable at the time because it was so much wind damage and things. So, but we're planting this site so densely, and I would just add, the stuff will grow, and it's going to be better screening than you've ever had before. So just trust us when we say that. Sure.
I can eliminate the rear Valvoline sign on the building, because no one's going to see that except the customer who's pulling around, and they already know where they're at, and those people, so.
So then we don't worry about turning it off at night? It's not there anymore?
It's not there anymore. Yep.
Okay. And then,
I think that's all we have. Thank you.
all right, thanks, Jason. And then, Sarosh, as far as the garbage location, do we need to look at that in terms of what would be required for turning and access, or is that something, can we make that part of the building review process?
Yes, so there are certain codes and ordinances that would have to be met. That's one of the conditions that we usually put that catches all of the remaining codes and ordinances that they have to meet. And so the location of the garbage storage area, the trash enclosure, I should say, if it is moved to the southeast corner of the property, we'll need to allow for proper access by truck traffic. And they already do have a substantial driveway around the building, which could then lend itself towards providing that access that's needed.
All right, so my question is, as far as our recommendation to the board, do we make the relocation of that to address the?
Yes, you can add that as a condition
condition.
to your findings,
Okay.
yes.
But the lighting on the building is gone because the
Yes.
gentleman has already said it's gone, so that takes care of that. Okay. Any other comments?
Just a quick comment on the lighting too. Typically, we find that the new LED lighting that's available does not actually create a side glare. It can also be directed directly to the bottom, so if that is the type of lighting you use, together with the shields and sometimes controls that can also control the brightness in certain areas, we've seen that very commonly used throughout the community. That would be something that I think would be much appreciated by the neighbors, where the level of light around the periphery is lower than the light at the building entrances. Okay.
Okay.
Sense.
Commissioners, are we ready to move to deliberation?
Sure.
All right. Then I would entertain a motion to close the public hearing on application PZC 2025-11 and move to deliberation.
So moved.
Thanks, Hildy.
Second.
Commissioner Giannini,
Aye.
Commissioner Kovacevic,
Aye.
Commissioner Schultz,
Aye.
Chairman Stratman.
Aye. Okay, so we heard from the petitioner on this, we heard from the residents' concerns. I think if we look to add as a condition of a recommendation about the relocation of the garbage receptacle, what do we want to call that? Trash. Trash enclosure.
Trash
Okay,
enclosure.
trash enclosure.
Yes.
And what regarding the fence, what do we want to do about that? Because we know that we've seen that the packet right now includes substantial screening.
Yes.
We know if there's 5-foot fence, we have the ability in the ordinance now to go to a 6-foot fence.
Mm-hmm.
Do we want to make that as a condition?
So we've already stated in our list of conditions recommended to you is that if the existing 5-foot high fence on the south side of the lot is replaced, it shall be replaced with a 6-foot high privacy fence. If you'd like to modify that condition simply to require that the 5-foot fence be replaced with a 6-foot
there.
high fence, we
It's
could do
already in
that.
staff.
Yeah.
That's covered where we say the staff recommendations. Yep.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. All right,
I mean, you can require it. We've
Right,
made it
this
an
is just, I
option.
mean, they could leave
You
the,
can
they
make it
could
a
leave the
requirement.
5 foot
Mhm.
All right.
there.
If you wish.
okay, we'll do that
Okay.
as a condition. If that's okay, Mr. Swire? You're okay with that? Okay,
It's only money.
all right. Commissioners, anything
Saving
else?
on the sign.
I just say somebody brought an issue about a car wash being on that site. I've worked on many car washes across the country. That is way too small of a site for a car wash.
Yeah, we'll never.
So that would, I just don't see anybody being able to build a car wash on that site.
That was one of the comments I was also going to add to the concerns about the B3 district and the types of uses that could go in. In addition to the setbacks that are required, the size of this lot is smaller than what a larger big box type retail would require. And so the number of uses that are available would still be limited to be used on this site, so.
Yeah, it's small.
All right, anything else, Commissioners?
No.
Okay. Then I would entertain, on application PZC 2025-11, I will entertain a motion to receive into the public record the staff, excuse me, the staff review of compliance of this application with the zoning standards as presented by staff, to receive the testimony presented by the applicant, by members of the public, and by the PCC members, and to make these standards and testimony a part of the official record for the application findings of the PCC, including the condition of the investigation of relocation of the trash enclosure from the southwest corner to the southeast corner of the site, and the installation of a six-foot tall fence at the rear of property for privacy, and to recommend that the village board approve the application for a map amendment and special use permit for the construction of a new automobile lubricating services facility to be operated as a Valvoline instant oil change at 909 South Rand Road.
So moved.
Thanks, Oldie.
Second.
Please call the roll, Colleen.
Commissioner Giannini,
Aye.
Commissioner Kovacevic,
Aye.
Commissioner Schultz,
Aye.
Chairman Stratman.
Aye. So, unanimous recommendation to the village board on this item with those conditions, and it will go to the village board meeting when?
So also on the 21st.
All right.
Excuse me, I'm losing my voice.
So now you're on it. All right, thank you.
And we
Good
will
luck.
add those conditions to the ordinance as well.
Good. All right, thank you. And thanks for the comments from the audience. We do appreciate the people being engaged, so thank you.
Yep.
The next item on our agenda was item 4C, which was the application for planned unit development for the redevelopment of vacant property at 173 West Main Street. It was to be a 4,870 square foot commercial building, associated parking areas, 19 single-family townhomes in the B2 Central Business District and R5 Single-Family Residential District, to be known as the waterfront of Lake Zurich. But this item is being continued to the August PZC meeting to allow the applicant time to address the comments provided by the Village Development Review Team. So I will entertain a motion to continue the public hearing on application PZC 2025-12 to the August meeting at 7 p.m.
So moved.
Thanks, Oldie.
Second.
Commissioner Giannini,
Aye.
Commissioner Kovacevic,
Aye.
Commissioner Schultz,
Aye.
Chairman Stratman.
Aye. So we have our August item, at least one of them on.
At least one item on it,
All right.
yes.
And then we go to the staff report on upcoming projects.
Yes, so for upcoming projects, you have your one item already continued to the August meeting of the commission, which is the redevelopment of 173 West Main, also known as Block A, with a proposal for 19 townhomes and a commercial building likely to hold a restaurant type land use in it. The other item that we anticipate being submitted is a request for annexation, zoning, and subdivision of a property along the north end of Rand Road. We typically refer to this as the Calabrese property. It is north of Meadowwood. It is 20 acres, and there is a proposal being prepared for submittal for a garage condo, a luxury garage condo facility, which will provide for, it's like a public storage type facility, but for luxury condos. There will be a clubhouse, there will be an auto dealership also being proposed along the frontage of that property with Rand Road. So that will require annexation because it is not currently within our municipal boundaries, and classification of their zoning, of the zoning district that it'll be located within, which would be industrial for the garage condos and retail for the auto dealership. We also anticipate, perhaps we're not quite certain, that there may be another application, but I won't disclose it right now because we're not quite certain whether that'll be submitted or not, so. But we will soon have that information, hopefully by the end of this week or early next week.
All right. I did watch the cursory review of the auto condo.
Yes, it has
I thought
already
that
been
was
presented.
Interesting. I was surprised to hear some of the values of the cars that might be
Yes.
stored there.
It is a concept that is picking up quite well in the Chicagoland area, Naperville. I think it is Mundelein or one of these communities close by that already have one, and Barrington. Barrington is in the process of getting one right now, right just north of their downtown area. You have a question? I could see that you were gonna ask me
What was
something.
the auto dealer? Or
The auto dealer is a luxury auto dealer, so it's not a general brand dealer. It is a luxury auto dealer that will sell various brands, very specifically targeted to the neighborhood across the street.
There's a question about tax, sales tax.
Mhm.
So was that, like, how would they?
So we have talked with the developer. The developer is indicating that point of sale will take place on the premises or within the state, so that we then have the ability to obtain the necessary sales tax. Because if the point of sale is not within the state, then we cannot avail of the sales tax. But the developer so far indicated that point of sale is going to be on the premises.
Okay? So it looks like we're gonna have a busy August meeting, so
Yes,
everybody
the
needs
August
to be
meeting
there.
will be busy. We'll
Everybody
get a
needs
few
to be
more
there.
refreshments for you if you'd like, so that we can take a break between two large applications. We
Right.
also anticipate there will be more people interested in these applications, and so there will be public comment also that we will be taking.
All right. We'll be doing that, okay. And if there's nothing else, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
second.
Call the roll, please, Colleen.
Commissioner Giannini,
Aye.
Commissioner Kovacevic,
Hi.
Commissioner Schultz,
Aye.
Chairman Stratman.
Aye. We are adjourned.
Thank you very
everyone.
much, and good night.
Wonderful, thank you.